Hello everyone, good morning. How are you doing? Have you had your healing tea today? It's a wonderful way to start the day. Constipated, bloating, this will help you a whole lot. Yes, a metabolic booster. Princess Kate Osamede Emiko is my name. Welcome to Fertility Health. Yes, today we started talking about ovulatory infertility. Some of the reasons that will be affecting your ovulation. If you are not ovulating, how can you get pregnant? Some don't ovulate, some their ovulation is just fluctuating. Now, we talked about avoiding trans fat yesterday, avoiding hydrogenated fat found mainly in processed food, and being conscious of the type of oil you consume, because you definitely need good source of fat, good oil, for you to cushion your womb and prepare yourself for fertility. Now, today we are going to be looking at swapping protein, your protein source. You need to look into your protein source. Of recent, there was a research. In fact, that research really opened my eyes and a lot of women's eyes. There was a research done lately at the United States. Of course, two groups were placed on a protein diet. One group was placed on plant-based protein source like beans, nuts, seeds, tofu, and all those things, strictly plant-based protein source. And the other group, they were placed on animal-based protein sources like meat, fish, eggs, and all those things. At the end of the research, do you know that the condition, the ovulatory fertility condition of the group A that had been on plant-based protein source improved with 75% compared to the other group that had no improvement. At in fact, their situation even got worse. So what are we trying to say here? The researcher said it. If you're having issues ovulating, it's time to check your protein source. You need protein, but it's time to swap to plant-based protein sources. You need more of your beans. You need more of your nuts, almond nuts, macadamia nuts, pistachio nuts, walnuts. Walnuts are very good, they enhance fertility. These are nuts, and be careful with the nuts. If you are watching your weight also, if you're having issues with excess weight, nuts are very high in calories, so you might want to watch the quantity of the nuts. A handful is not bad. Your cashew nut, your peanut, your macadamia nut, your pistachio nuts, all these almond nuts, all these are fantastic nuts. Tiger nuts, all these are plant-based sources that you want to focus on for your protein intake. And then also reduce drastically your intake of meat. If you can avoid meat, avoid meat. And then if you want to eat fish, it has to be low mercury fish. Be very conscious of that. Now, you have to try as much as you can to avoid, especially if you're having issues. Some people don't avoid it, it doesn't cause anything, but once you know you already have issues, like fish without scale. Any fish without scale has a lot of mercury because it has no protective covering. I'm not saying you should not eat fish without scale if that's your delicacy, but be careful that those fish that has no scale, it has no protective covering, and so they tend to be higher in mercury and toxic consumption. Unlike fish that has protective covering. This is just a hint, so be careful with the type of fish. You need your low mercury fish at this time, and also you might want to reduce your egg intake, especially the yolk, and focus on the white. Your children, they need the yolk. Other people need yolk, but once you know you're having issues with PCOS, you need to avoid all these things. And PCOS is a major cause for PCOS is hormonal imbalance. And then another thing, we'll talk about that tomorrow, you need to reduce drastically your carbohydrate intake, starches and sugar. All these things affect hormonal imbalance, and it affects PCOS, causes PCOS, and affects your ovulation. So I hope I've been able to pass some messages across to you. No matter your medical therapy or your medical condition you are passing through right now, or the medical treatment you are on right now, adding all these dietary rules and regulations will enhance your result, accelerate your result, prepare your womb, even if you are ready to go for an IVF. And another thing I want to advise, from what I've seen so far, from what I've experienced from my women at the academy, you might need to do a detoxification. You might need to do a thorough cleanse and prepare your body for conception. Remain blessed. I'll see us all tomorrow. Shalom.